Hey y'all, it's Jody May. Welcome back for another week of What's for Dinner with some easy meal ideas. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jody May, and I hope you guys enjoy, and if you do, stick around by hitting that subscribe button and click that bell so you don't miss any future videos. For this dinner, we had a super easy tuna noodles. Here lately, you guys, I've had a couple people ask me for the descriptions of what I actually use in them, but let me know if you guys would rather me tell you up front like there I just did in the video, or if you guys would rather me put it down in the description box below. But here all I did was I took about 1/4 of this red onion and I minced it up. I used about half a cup of mayonnaise, 2 cans of tuna, some salt and pepper, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, and about 3/4 of a cup of milk. I went ahead and mixed that really good, got it on the stove to boil. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the sauce to be hot when I mix it in with the noodles so it doesn't get cold really quick, but also to cook the onions down a little bit so they're not quite so raw tasting. Here lately I just can't do the raw onions, and that is why I do that. And these here, I actually use the bigger elbow noodles, so they were the large ones. I'm telling you, they seem to hold shape better than the small ones. If you guys have never used these, I really suggest using it for pasta salads and stuff. It turns out really good, and they really do hold their shape a lot better. Anyhow, after the noodles were cooked, I went ahead and drained them, put all this sauce in there, mixed it up really well. There you have it. Super simple, super easy. And just like I knew I was going to forget this, I forgot I also added 1 can of peas when it was done. And you guys, I truly do apologize. I did forget to put it in the clip because I forgot to pull them out. But then whenever I started to edit it, I forgot I needed to tell you that I forgot to add the peas in the video clip. But it was super simple, and the peas heated up really quick. You guys, I got to tell you about these Big Mac Sloppy Joes. They are awesome. Now, there is a couple little things that I will throw in there as I'm doing this clip, but just to let you guys know in the process of what I'm doing here first. All I did here was I browned up about 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and I added in about 2 tablespoons of minced onion, and I got that started simmering down to get the hamburger cooked. Now, I did see this from a couple ladies that I do watch on YouTube, and I'm telling you, Love Missy and Kim's Farmhouse Life. I'm going to leave their links in my description box below. If you guys don't follow them, you guys haven't subscribed to them, you guys need to check them out as soon as you're done with this video. Hop on over, check them out, and hopefully you'll subscribe because they do some awesome videos. Now, while the hamburger was cooking, I wanted to go ahead and get my pickles cut up. And to be honest with you guys, after we got moved, I started noticing some of the stuff that I had lost during the move. One of which was my electric chopper, and the other is my food processor. I'm really missing them a bit at this point, so I think I'm going to do me a Christmas list. But anyhow, getting to the point, once I got the hamburger fried up, I went ahead and drained the grease. I added about 2 tablespoons of Miracle Whip, and then I added in about 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of this Thousand Island dressing. Now, you guys, I would suggest using a little bit more, probably about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of the Thousand Island once you got your hamburger fried, if you're using 1.5 pounds of hamburger. That way you get the true feel. Now, after the hamburger was browned, I went ahead and threw my pickles in there, and I put in some American sliced cheese. You guys can use cheddar cheese or whatever cheese you have on hand, but we really do like the American cheese in our Sloppy Joes, so I figured I would go ahead and try it this way. You guys, all you do is mix it around and let the cheese melt down. It was awesome, and I hope you guys try it. Now, this dinner here was tilapia and salmon with some bacon-wrapped asparagus, and let me tell you guys, it turned out really good. One thing I will say, though, is I'm definitely never going to use the frozen asparagus spears anymore for this recipe, because I think they're already pre-cooked or something, because they really shrunk, like to almost barely there on some of them. And we really just had a lot of bacon more than we had asparagus. but the flavor was so good, you guys. It was really, really, really good. But like I said, the only thing I would do different is I would use the fresh asparagus spears, so I didn't have to mess with it. Now for this recipe, I started off by going ahead and getting my bacon wrapped around my asparagus and put it in the oven. I put that in there at 350 degrees for about 15-20 minutes, and then I flipped them over and cooked them for another 10-15 minutes. Now here for the salmon, I wanted to go ahead and use some of the meats that I already had in my freezer. So I was cooking the tilapia and the salmon. I didn't have enough of each for one full meal, so I went ahead and cooked them both and got them up out of the freezer. But for this, I went ahead and mixed up some salt and pepper, some lemon juice to my butter, and then a little bit of garlic juice. So I went ahead and mixed that up in my butter, and then with that I went ahead and, like you've seen, I did pouches for the salmon because them had skins on them and they're a lot easier to take the skin off like that. And then I just made them into a pouch, put them into the oven right on the rack. Now the tilapia, I just put them into this pan here, and then I also added the butter, the garlic, and the lemon to these as well, plus a little bit of parsley flakes on top. I put them into the oven. They cooked for about 25 minutes. Now I did cover the tilapia for probably the first 10 minutes, and then I took the aluminum foil off and I let them finish for the last 15 minutes, just so they would get a little bit more brown to the top and cook the lemons down a little bit from the top. And there you have it, guys. It turned out really good. For this dinner here, we had cream of broccoli soup. You guys, I gotta be honest with you, I have never, ever made cream of broccoli soup. And this was my very first attempt in it, and I'm telling you what, guys, on all honesty, I really did shock myself because it really turned out good. There's a couple things that I would change in it, but other than that, it was really good. What I did is I started off with about 3 tablespoons of butter. I went ahead and started getting that melted down. I threw in some onion, which was probably about maybe 1/4 of a small red onion, and then I added in about 2 tablespoons of garlic, minced garlic, and then I went ahead and sauteed them down. Once they got sauteed down, I did use frozen broccoli, which for me was super simple, super easy, and all I had to do with it was just chop it up. Now I did find the florets, and that's what I would suggest to use because that way you have more chunks. Now you can cut this up finer than I do here, but I'm telling you, I love the chunky broccoli soup, and you can't hardly find it anywhere. So I was really surprised, like I said, that it turned out as good as it did because it was my first try. So yeah, I'm bragging a little bit, guys. But anyhow, once everything was sauteed down and the onions and the garlic were pretty translucent, I went ahead and mixed in the broccoli, and then I let it cook down for probably about 10 minutes just to get it softened up and make sure it was cooked really good. And then I don't know what anybody else has used because I didn't look up a recipe, but this time with this recipe, all I did was I added in a full container of whipping cream. I mixed it up really good, and then I let it simmer for probably about another 10-15 minutes. I did add some salt and pepper to taste, and that was it, guys. And I am not gonna lie, it was really good. The flavor of them cooked red onions, the butter, the whipping cream, I don't know what it was, but it was very creamy, but the flavors were so good. Now once it was just about finished, and I went ahead and turned the stove off, I did add in probably about 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And there you have it, guys. You've got to try this. If nothing else in this video, you've got to try this one. And I hope you guys stick around and hit that subscribe button if you're new. Have a great day, y'all.